talk about the modes, ladies. I'm gonna do one video for each mode because I'd be rattling on and playing and going bananas if I tried to do all 7 in one video. And a quick explanation of the modes. It's a tricky subject. It's one of those subjects that you can read about and you probably won't understand it. It won't make any sense. And then one day it hits you and you're like, oh my god, it's like the easiest concept, but it's weird. You just kind of have to get it at some point, because like me telling you what it is probably won't make it click, but I'm gonna try. Here's the deal with the modes. If you play the modes like I just played, E Ionian, E major, nothing special. If you play the modes in succession, in sequence, and then say, alright, now I'm going to play F sharp Dorian, and then G sharp Phrygian, and then A Lydian. If you do that, you're wasting your time. That is not really how the modes work. That's not why they exist. All you just did is basically play the same scale over and over again. There's no modal aspect to that. The modes, the purpose of the modes, the reason we have 7 modes of the major scale is because each mode has a completely different tonality, a completely different personality, a completely different sound. If you just play them in sequence, like I just did, and most people do, or you play them in a vacuum, in other words, you'll just play, like in the key of C, you'll be thinking, okay, now I'm going to play E Phrygian. It doesn't work that way. You're not getting the sound of the mode, which is why it won't make sense to you. What you need to do is realize that more or less the chord dictates the mode. You know, if you play the same group of notes, if me and you were jamming together in the key of C, and I'm playing a C chord, ding, 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 no matter what notes you play in the key of C, you're playing C Ionian. I'm dictating your mode, okay? If you play those same notes, key of C, blah, 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 and I play an A minor chord, you know, now you're playing A Aeolian. My chord changes your mode because I am creating the tonality. Now if you change your notes, that's a different story. So back to the E Ionian scale. E major, 4 sharps, F, C, G, and D. So the notes would be E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. So the way you want to practice this is just set up some kind of amp, and if, like I'm playing an E with distortion because I felt like playing like that today, so I would just get some kind of little E thing going. Experiment with the chords in the key of E. Another thing with modes that kind of gets me sideways a little bit is a lot of people don't know their major scale, Ionian mode, and they're worried about Phrygian, and they're worried about harmonic minor, and they're worried about all this other stuff, and it's like, man, you need to know your Ionian mode, like all over the place. Like if I want to just jam out you should know it all over the place. And be able to kind of jam with yourself, set up some kind of amp. If you're playing a jazz guitar, you can just play a couple of chords in the key of E. That's another thing. You need to be familiar with the chords in that key. And a lot of, especially metal players, even guys that have really good technique, they don't know their chords that well. So, in the key of E, you need to know it's E major 7, F sharp minor 7, G sharp minor 7, A major 7, B 7, C sharp minor 7, and D sharp minor 7 flat 5. Excuse me. So really get yourself acquainted with that Ionian mode. That's going to be the foundation. And all the other modes, depending on how you look at them, are just Ionians. It helps to understand the modes if you realize that each mode is an Ionian scale with certain alterations. The next mode we do is going to be Dorian mode, right? Dorian mode, Dorian mode is just E Ionian with a flatted third and a flatted seventh. And when you see it, when you understand the modes in that context, it helps you understand the chord scale relationship, because an E minor 7 chord would also have a flat 3 and a flat 7. All right, or an E minor 6 would have a flat 3, and technically the flat 7 would be in there most likely. I mean, unless you're playing melodic minor, but that, you know, you have your kind of Dorian sound chords. So you really need to get an understanding of the keys, the 12 keys, and your notes and those shapes all over the neck. Because when you get into Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, they're all the same shapes. That's the most awesome thing about this. It's just sort of, you'll see when I get into the Dorian mode and then the Phrygian mode, you're going to see how we work this, and it's going to be pretty exciting shit, I think, for a lot of people. So get really acquainted with those Ionian modes, and not just E. I didn't just do an E because I felt like, but if you want to, F, G, A, B, all the keys, man. You need to know your neck well to get into this stuff. You can work on technique as well. It's not just like memorizing notes. You can work on your arpeggios, your picking stuff. So, get familiar with the major scales, because we're going to hit Dorian probably tomorrow. I'll probably do one a day. I'm going to keep them coming.